Welcome back to this channel. In this video, I'm going to break down 15 reasons why owning a cheap steam iron is absolutely worth it. See, I love my Rowenta and older Panasonic irons, especially their dry heat performance. Both irons can do dry and steam ironing, but I completely stopped using them for steaming because I don't want to ruin them. I want to extend their lifespan. So because of this FOMO of mine, I end up buying a second-hand iron from the thrift store just for my steaming needs. But over time, the rust and the lime buildup is becoming a nuisance. And the sole plate was finally ready to retire. For a while, I was on the market of looking for a steam iron, and I was seriously conflicted. Do I drop big bucks on expensive steam irons, or do I go cheap? I decided to buy the cheapest brand I could find, under $15, and I am incredibly pleased with it. Here are my top 15 reasons why a budget steam iron makes the perfect backup. Preserve your premium irons. Using a cheap backup allows you to protect your favorite high-end irons, keeping them dedicated to specific jobs and make them last so much longer. Electronics and water have a love-hate relationships. Over time, any steam iron will show signs of wear and tear, lime buildup, and rust. A $15 sewing iron kicks the budget. Replacing a cheap iron like this does not sting too much in the wallet. Many budget irons are designed to take regular tap water. You save money and hassle by not having to buy special distilled water just to follow the instructions. Some of these expensive irons that are sold in the market, after spending that much money, they require you to keep spending more money buying distilled water. Well, do the math. The amount of money you spent on buying distilled water might as well get a cheap steam iron. It doesn't make sense to me. Some massive expensive irons hold more water but completely strain your arm. Those tiny travel irons, you have to keep refilling them every few minutes. A compact, cheap iron like this size is the perfect middle ground. Lightweight, I was able to use this for 30 to 40 minutes of continuous use. Just a tip though, just tilt the iron up when you aren't using it to conserve the water. Think about how much water capacity it can handle and how many times do you have to keep refilling them. Many marketing teams have different fancy names for newer technology in iron, sole plate, and the hundreds of microsteam they call it. I mean, they're talking about the holes on your sole plate. But in my experience, the micro holes looks nice, but really, you just need those big steam vents that actually let the water out. The holes that you see in this iron here is all you need. Now you could have a different experience, but that's my experience. When you're working with difficult fabrics like rayon that I have here, which is almost 3 yards long, trust me, using a dry iron on this fabric takes forever. Efficient heavy steam is the only way to get this job done. There are many irons out there in the $200 price range and maybe more. And in fact, some products inundate you with fancy features. In reality, you only ever use 2 or 3 of these features. Even though the cheaper irons have lower wattage, the compact design and constant steam output makes up for it. Steam heat actually intensifies the pressing and steam power, making it ideal for stubborn fabrics like rayon and linen. Steam Steam is highly recommended for fusibles because the moisture and the heat transfer help embed the glue fabric fibers. I have this rare book from 1979 featuring physical examples of fabrics and interfacings sold back then. It recommended about 30% of steam irons to use the different interfacing. Now, in today's time, there's way more interfacing sold out there, and a lot of these interfacings actually suggest steam ironing. Because I collect a lot of these interfacing instructions, I noticed that the manufacturers suggest using steam iron more compared to dry iron applications. That's what I noticed. Because they are lightweight and compact, these budget irons are easy to store, carry around, or pack to travel. Every brand new iron works flawlessly until it doesn't. All steam irons eventually suffer from sweating or spitting. This usually happens because the sole plate isn't hot enough to vaporize the water, so it leaks through the vents. Expensive irons do this just as much as the cheap ones. Over time, rust and grime build up in the ports, causing leaks. So, this is one example that buying a cheaper steam iron still makes sense compared to an expensive steam iron. If you're someone who absolutely hates the chore of ironing garments, steam is your best friend. It's efficient, fast, and cuts down your chore time significantly. In sewing, crisp, clean, steam-pressed fabric is essential. It completely helps with pattern alignment, and it gives you much smoother sewing experience overall. A budget iron can still handle dry ironing for delicate fabrics. In some cases, steam delivers a safer heat compared to direct dry heat. According to this newsletter, steam irons really started hitting the consumer market in the mid-1970s. 50 years is a long time to perfect a product. We've come a long way. It's been 50 years. These cheap steam irons that are sold in the market nowadays compare just as good as the expensive one because there's now advancement in technology. Before I go, here are 2 quick bonus tips for your setup. Ditch the tiny filling cups. Invest in a cheap plastic plant watering can from the dollar store. Stop using a small cup to refill your steam iron or having to go to the sink all the time. Invest in this dollar store plant watering can, and this will make your life easier. Second, buy this silicone rest pad. This is a heat-resistant silicone ironing mat. This is perfect for catching any of the natural sweat and moisture that leaks from the steam vents when the iron is resting. And I heard about these nice, wonderful looking fancy irons out there. I even heard about investing in a steam station so you have water all the time. Listen, we're not running a business here. This is just a hobby. And just filter out the marketing hype. Because you know what? At the end of the day, it just makes sense to invest in a secondary, cheap, dedicated steam iron as your backup tool. It will save your premium iron because you still need it for other application, protects your wallet, and steam can handle versatile fabric applications. So this steam iron can also sanitize your fabric. So if you have an old suit and you're too stingy or lazy to go to the dry cleaners to clean it, grab a press cloth and start steaming your suit. Believe me, it will pay for itself. So to conclude this video, some jobs call for dry heat. Some jobs call for steam heat. Whether you sew or you do not sew, having a dedicated steam iron is the ultimate win. Thanks for watching.